Welcome to my workshop. Today we are going to be making my all-time favorite Pokemon. Now you may think this is pretty obvious seeing my channel profile, or maybe this Totodile up here, or maybe this Totodile right here. But maybe this Totodile right here would give it away. This one's made out of scrap metal. This is one of the first sculptures I actually made. Maybe it's this Croconaw. Or maybe Feraligatr. But with all of this Totodile themed art, I know you have to think it's going to be Totodile, but it's not. Although I do absolutely love Totodile, it has recently been replaced with something new. I don't know what type of reveal it would be if I just straight up told you, so we're going to make it first. Because there's so many chains, we're going to go ahead and just do a brief overview first. So, on the left-hand side, we have all of the head details. The middle portion here is a combination of the head and body. Then we've got the tail. This upper corner here is going to be for the wings. And then down here for the right-hand corner, we have the legs and feet. Now that we have that all settled, the first step in creating our mystical Mon here is to set all the chains to the side because this mat is very limited in space. Once that is done, we can start manipulating these chains into their proper places with the utmost care and precision. This is easily the most intricate sculpture I have done so far, but for my new favorite Pokemon, it deserves nothing less. As we start finishing up the main portion of the body here, that middle link was 30 pieces long, followed by a 16 link and an 8 link, which are stacked on top and over to the left side. Once we have added its neck tendrils, we can start adding details onto the head and the additional pieces around the neck. Now, if you don't recognize this Mon, that is totally understandable. It is often forgotten as it's a very late game Pokemon and it is hard to get and evolve. We have just finished laying out the legs, which are composed of 12 links and 2 links. Now for the tail, it is made up of a 15 link with an 8 link that'll be on either side. Because of its particular design, instead of having the tail mesh right into the body, I decided to keep it differently because it's got a little extra bulk and it really brings the piece together in the end. Now for the wings, we have the main top part of the wing being 11 link with some additional smaller pieces that end up filling it out in the middle. Now that we have it all laid out, let's do one quick final breakdown before we get onto the welding. We've got the middle portion here and those legs will end up stacking on top of it. Now over on the right portion, there is a set of chains that I didn't lay out, and that's just one of the other wings, and I kind of just ran out of space on the mat. So now that we have it all laid out, it's time to get onto the welding. We're going to start out by doing small tacks between each of the links on all the body parts. And although it seems like we probably should have started with the middle section that had the body and the head, we're going to do that second because we can also lay out the tail with it. Next we have the wings, and I'm only going to weld one of these because it's the same thing on both sides. So we had the front and now we have the back side of the wings. We are going to now stack each of the body parts on top of each other, kind of like those little wooden puzzles. I'm hopefully going to start being able to do some of these like those puzzles so you can have some at-home kits, but I haven't found a good way to do that yet. But stay tuned because right now our favorite Mon kind of looks like a giant chicken, maybe an ostrich. But it is time to fix that now, and we are going to be adding all of the additional details that finally takes our favorite Pokemon here to the next level and away from being an ostrich. Now, I know some of y'all are probably pretty confused here of where this is going because it doesn't super look like a lot of Mons, and for being a dragon-esque design, there's really not that many in the game. However, this is a very late game Mon, so it's often forgotten and kind of hard to get because it takes so long to get to it and to evolve it. Hopefully this helps a little bit. Now we've got some neck frills on here as well, as our favorite dragon here is starting to take shape, and we are going to add the final details of the wings. We've got the final 2 welds here, adding the hands onto the wings and then cleaning it up using the angle grinder and the Dremel. The Dremel really just helps get into the smaller spots that the angle grinder can't reach. It is time for the mid-build breakdown here. So we have our favorite Mon in its raw chain state. If you have not had a chance to like or subscribe yet, this is a great time to do so. Also, if you're not exactly sure what Mon I'm making, leave a comment with your best guess. And with that, it is time to add the paint. So we are going to be starting off with a bright pink base coat. And then we will be adding on his white little tummy tum. Got to make sure to get the front as well as the sides so it looks nice and rounded. Going to be adding in some green feetsies as well. So hopefully this is starting to look like one of our favorite Mons. Can't forget the green on the wings as well. And we at least know that this is going to be a dragon type, but have you been able to figure out which one it is yet? Finishing up the green on the tops of the wings, as well as getting the tendrils around the neck. You know this dragon is sending mad vine whips, as well as probably some mad vine tail whips? I don't think that's a move, but this one can learn it. Starting to get the final details and adding the greens onto the tips of the head frills. We are getting close to the end here. Adding a brighter green on top, gotta get those layers and make sure that it really pops out. Finishing up the bright green on the tail, adding it to the feetsies, or I guess mostly just the ends of the toes to be clear, onto the hands on the wings, as well as a little bit on top of the wings. Again, this is just for adding some layering. We're going to add the green onto the tips of the wings, as well as a small little stripe at the edge of the green frills on the head. This also corners the snout horn? Snout horn. Glad I didn't get too tongue-tied because that could have gone terribly. Gone with the green and yes to the yellow. Time to add the final little bits to the wing here. That yellow is to help blend in with the pink. We're gonna get the front and the back of the wings. With that, we have our final little details, adding some black spots of various sizes onto the belly, as well as onto the neck and bottom of the jaw. And with those final spots, it is time to finish up our favorite fruity dragon. And there you have it, my new favorite Pokemon, Ladogon, the dragon fruit dragon. I'm sorry, Totodile, you've had your time and you will always have a special place in my heart. But it is time for Ladogon. Again, this is one of the coolest dragon Pokemon in the games. It is often forgotten, and I honestly can't imagine why. So for all of you hardcore Pokemon fans, I'm sure that you got this early on, as it is a fan favorite for a few and often forgotten by the rest. Now, when it comes to the video, hopefully you've enjoyed watching Ladogon come to life. And hey, maybe for some of you, this will be your new favorite Pokemon too. Let me know in the comments if this is one of your favorites or if you've used it on a team. I used it in my last playthrough and it was just an absolute beast of a Pokemon. I can say I think there's only one thing that would actually make this better, and that is if I actually knew what a dragon fruit tasted like. That brings us to the end of our build video, so thank you again for watching, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I of course want to give a big thank you to our current workshop backers as well. Your support really means the world to me, and for anyone that is interested in helping support the channel a little bit more, check out becoming a workshop backer down in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.